let's get to our super chat here from Michael.
Yes.
Michael, thank you very much. And he drops in with a very generous donation. We appreciate that, Michael. And the super chats are open for anybody who wants to help out the show. Jump the line here for comments. We certainly would appreciate it. And we thank you in advance. But jumps in and says, look, Darby Allin should be the next AEW champion. And he gives a reason. Even if he's a transitional champion, he'd be a made man, can plausibly beat MJF. And eventually somebody like Bryan Danielson can take the belt off of him. Darby Allin, I think, is a fascinating figure to talk about in relation to the world title concerning MJF. Why? Because of that darn headlock takeover. Like, they have a story there that is on a silver platter to just deliver to somebody at any given time of Darby Allin beating MJF. I mean, they've done the Pillars thing. They've had some really good matches with one another. I love how the gimmicks and the characters just clash, between those two. I mean, they're polar opposite in a way that, like, I hate to compare it to like Rock Austin, but like in that vein where it's just totally two different characters on the opposite ends of the spectrum, colliding head on. And so I think that's an interesting one-on-one feud to have at some point. I mean, could it happen? Yes. I don't think that they're on that path, but just with CM Punk kind of hovering around the title and Adam Cole hovering around the title, I don't know that MJF is going to last long enough to drop it to Darby Allin. And so interesting idea, Michael. I can't say that I see it happening, but there certainly is an avenue to tell that story if they want, based on, seeds that have been planted since AEW in AEW day one.
Yeah, I mean, I think certainly, even if you look at this past Saturday, right, CM Punk is getting booed, to oblivion. Where were they at? Do you remember where they were off the top of your head?
They were in Newark, I think.
Newark, New Jersey. Oh, yeah, because he's talking about the Devils.
Yes.
At one point.
So I think it was Newark, I want to say.
So, I'm sure it was planned all along, but you obviously know that Tony Khan has faith in Darby Allin to be that babyface that's not going to get booed under any circumstance, because he went out there and was like, my best buddy CM Punk.
Yes.
Fear him along with
God.
me. I was like, man, I like Darby, but that just told me that Tony Khan is like, okay, this is my Darby security blanket. I need someone to be a babyface. I need Darby out there with him, and we'll be good to go. Man. For the most part, it worked. I think for anyone on the roster, he's definitely a high candidate for that. So that tells me, yes, that Darby is potentially in that category. And let's say, a lot would have to happen, but, if there's some sort of Sting retirement situation at All In, and maybe, if CM Punk had turned and that was the seed there, and there's some tag team match where if he loses, whatever, that's one thing. And then Punk defeating MJF, and then Darby being someone that could beat him down the line makes sense. Or if MJF could somehow survive a Cole and CM Punk combo and retain the title, Darby makes a lot of sense there. So is he the most likely next champion to me within AEW? I don't think so. But down the line from, just his upward growth, him and Orange Cassidy, I think, have been the highest risers in, from mid-card to top of the card. If you look at over the course of the last 12 months within AEW, of someone who you'd be like, oh, maybe I can actually see that versus anyone else on the roster. I think it's both of them. So I think that's not totally out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. He's an interesting character, man. I mean, I think that he's a guy that it probably is a transitional world champion. I mean, that's probably like his ceiling in AEW. And it's totally not a knock. That's just, I mean, it's just totally, it's not. I don't think Darby's the guy that goes on a year-long, title run, with the belt. But I do think he's somebody that can, that can be like a babyface champion, for a little while when you need him. Kind of like Johnny Gargano was in NXT, where he climbed that mountain. Finally, he got there, didn't spend too much time at the top, but did what he had to do, got the title, and then moved on to other things, because his role isn't really carrying the title, but it's the journey to whatever he's doing. And I think there's, I think that there's an avenue to that for Darby Allin.